Hi, ladies and gentlemen. A. Marcus here again. Look, I'm back here kind of early. This is a Friday morning, and this is my third video. I hope it's not long. You know, I've been trying to get the people to trust in God's way. I refer to God as being that spiritual power that you cannot see, can't touch, can't feel. But for those of you who just can't put your mind on what I'm talking about, the evidence of that God is here in the fact that you're standing on an earth. And you know, things just don't be. Something caused it to be. That grows green grass, has the potential of growing trees and fruits, and even grass. And I'm talking about weed. It has rivers and valleys and crevices and oceans and seas and fish and animals and little gophers that tear up your yard, and got little mice that run through your house and take it over if you don't keep it clean. And you even got snakes walking around in the grass looking for somebody to bite or somebody to get away from if they can't bite. You got all these kinds of things going on, and above all of that, you got a human being. And you know, even though your mom and dad had to do some fun loving or something to get you, the first one didn't come that way, but it's here. And I'm always talking to you about the things that you pray about. Most people pray that there's peace in the land. Most people pray that they are prosperous, even if they don't pray for everybody else. They want prosperity in their lives. They want freedom, freedom from oppression, freedom from the gangbangers, freedom from the law, freedom from anything that would cause them bondage. They want joy in their lives. They really do. Everybody wants to have a joyous life. And above all, if you ask them what do they really mean, and they will say, I want my dreams to come true. If my dreams come true, I think I'm in heaven. Well, that's what most people pray for. The very, very poor, those who don't have anything, pray for that. Those who got a little bit, pray for that. Those who got a little bit more, pray for that. And even you got the middle class, they pray for that. And the ones who are a little bit above middle class, they pray for that. And you got the ones who are rich, they pray for that. And then you got one who's richer than rich, they pray for that. It's just that those that are richest feel that in order for them to stay rich, they have to have people under them that's not as rich. And the reason that they see things that way is because they know they got their richness from those that's under them. In other words, they are the workers. The ones that's under them are the workers. And they exploited the workers. Now you might say, well, how did I exploit the workers? I'll tell you how you exploited workers. Let me use an example. Bill Gates, one of the richest men on the face of the earth. Now, who made those computers? He came up with the idea. He came with the blueprint, I suppose, and stuff like that, which was fine. But who made those computers? Who put them together? Who make the parts for them? Who sells them? Who get distributed them? Who do all of these things? The workers do that. And I guarantee you, not one single worker got the kind of money Bill Gates got. Then you say, well, if you took all the money that all the other people made from this invention and put it together, would it equal as much as Bill Gates? It probably would. I hope it would. But in that, when you weigh all of the people that's involved in that process to make it a successful process against the one person who made it, who played a little part in it with ideas that weren't even his, with the programs that weren't even his, that came from a spirit, that came from God for your benefit. And now you can't even afford the computers that you have made. But he's walking around one of the richest men in America, probably one of the richest men on the face of the earth. That's why they look at you like you the worker. And this is the whole process. When you talk about socialism, socialism talks about the worker, talks about the people who are responsible for the existence of the cities, of the towns, of the food, of the streets, of the lights, of the everything that you could think of. It is the workers that's responsible for that. You might have come up with the idea. You might have been the boss. I heard one man say, I made this amount of money. I went and bought all these houses that people had been kicked out of. He said he came from a socialist country. And he was excited because he came here and got rich. The fact that everybody else is poor, he knows that. He knows why. But he don't want to change the system because the system that he come from was not representative of what he wanted. His dreams weren't being answered. As the Americans' dreams are not being answered. You got 1% of the population that they say is well-to-do, and a half of that percent is super well-to-do, and you got 99% of the population that's fussing. You got 50% of the population that's gone stone mad. And you'll say, communism doesn't work. And I agree. Why? Because you got some that got some and some that don't. You say socialism doesn't work. Well, at least those that I've heard about don't work. Why? Because you got some who got something and many that don't. And you got more people that got something than others in other systems of government. But the same thing is identified in capitalism, democratic capitalism. It's the same thing that is, let me tell you something, there's no difference between communism, socialism, and dictatorships. They just got different names and they spread something out a little bit better than others. Like Republican and Democrat, they're the same doggone system of government, one with an angrier face and one with a face that smiles a little bit more. But they're the same thing. So all of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, is the same thing. I don't care what name brand you call it. It is the same thing. And that is why I don't talk to you about those things. I used to. I used to think that if I were in leadership as a Democrat, I'd be able to do some stuff for you. But I have watched men who are much smarter than me come into the office as a Democrat and couldn't do nothing. I watched men smarter than me that come in office as a Republican. I don't even know if they had any intent from the beginning to do anything. And they did something for some, but the rest of them, they didn't do nothing because of more pain and suffering. And so I learned that it is not politics. It is not these systems of government that offer something that's better than another. You might find one that spreads a little bit more jelly and peanut butter out than some, but that's not what you're not praying for. You're not praying for more jelly and more peanut butter. No, ladies and gentlemen, you're praying for the fulfillment of your dreams. And that's why I stand before you and tell you that there's a power that you can't see. Some of you will say it, and you think you mean it, but you don't mean it because you don't act like it. I tell you that power loves you. That's why the power keeps pushing up food out of the ground when a seed goes down. That's why minds become open and suck in some of this wisdom that seems to have been hidden for ages and ages and ages, and tell you about how developing and making new products and whatever for the people. Not for somebody to rip off and say, I'm the best, I'm the smartest. You ain't no smart. I don't care if you got 15 degrees. It's not for your benefit. It's for the benefit of the humankind. God made you to have that kind of receptibility, sensibility, so you can serve his purpose. Why do you think I'm standing up here fussing with you guys every day almost and night? You think it's because I'm a greater lover? No, it's not I'm a greater lover. It's because God is a greater lover. And God demands that I stand here. God gave me back my life when I threw it away. So I can stand here before you who do not know God and keep on lifting God up in such a way that when your pains and your suffering bite your tail so bad till you holler, God, maybe you can remember some of the things that I've said to you. Maybe it'll still be up on YouTube or Facebook and you'll go back and refer to them. And maybe you can see an avenue out of the hell that you've created for yourselves by listening to those who are robbing you every day. I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is not capitalism. The answer isn't socialism as we know it. The answer isn't communism. The answer isn't dictatorships. The answer is number one, God, and number two, you. God and you. That's the answer. The question is, do you want the answer? And if you want it, how bad do you want it? Thank you.